All right, we're in the swing with Saul. He's in our number one relaxation position, which we call chillaxin. And in chillaxin, the cue is to keep the hips really heavy. So we drop the hips, okay? Knees are just relaxed, open. And then we're opening up the heart. And then the head is being supported by his fingers being interlaced behind the back of the neck. Okay, so in this pose, he's gonna keep his hips really heavy, right? And then I'm gonna let his head rest on my belly. I'm gonna hold the sides of his arms, and I'm just gonna let myself sway a little bit from side to side. So what I'm doing is I'm tractioning the skin, there we go, and I'm just creating a little momentum there. I'm tractioning the skin around the armpits, the subscapula, and up into the tricep and through the hands, through the arms. John, is that okay?
Yeah, feels great.
So the idea is we're splaying open the shoulders in order to get a little bit more space in there. And at the same time, he's just relaxing both in his upper body and his lower body, and his upper body is supported by me. So that's just a nice way to start to open up the shoulders. I'll go ahead and keep the pose, keep the chillaxin pose, and then I can come over here and just work a little bit with the legs. So I'm just gonna hook the legs with my feet, and I lean back. So keep your hips heavy, please. Keep your hips heavy, even more. Open up your chest instead of your ribs. Keep your hips heavy, even more. Drop it in, even more. Drop your hips, even more. Drop down. Yeah, that's it, okay? Stay dropped. Cool. So now I'm just gonna do the same rhythm wave. We call it swagger, where I'm letting him stay heavy and relaxed. If he lifts his hips, he's no longer gonna open up the chest, he's gonna splay his ribs open. And we're not trying to expand the solar plexus, we're trying to expand the heart. That's a really important cue because most people are gonna let their hips float away, and I'm really emphasizing the alignment. So hips heavy, heart open, head relaxed. That's why we use the chillaxin arms. And this is really just to start to soften and awaken the connective tissue. Just this gentle rocking, swinging motion will start to open up all the fascia. And of course, from this position, it's really easy to give some leg love and massage out the feet. So we can do YOGASSAGE in the swing, either a little bit or a lot, depending on how the person is feeling. But what I wanted to show you next is how we get him into an inversion and start to stretch the whole front of the spine, working with the connective tissue. Okay, so John, you've done this before. You're gonna hold on to the swing. You're gonna push your hips towards the sky and lean back. Now the swing is gonna go into the sweet spot, and I'm gonna help his legs wide and around to hook in front. Now he's fully supported in an inversion. The swing is going across his hips, which is starting to open up the lower back, and then he's gonna get some space. Just relax the arms down overhead. There you go. He's gonna get some space in the spine. And from here, I'm just gonna gently help and coax the body open. So I do a little bit of massaging. I kind of call it like a body wash. It's not a deep tissue session. It's really just encouraging more space in the body, and the same with the neck. So I'm just gonna pull down on the sides of the neck. Not trying to rip the entire head off, but just getting enough room in the cervical spine that there feels like a little bit of relief. Okay, great. Then what I want him to do is he's gonna walk his hands back. He puts his hands down like he's in handstand and walks back towards me. He's gonna fully extend. I'm gonna step on his hands. His hands are shoulder distance, a little bit wider, right? Just like that. So I'm gonna step on his hands. So for somebody with scleroderma where their skin actually contracts their hands so it's more like in a C shape, this is gonna flatten and extend them. He's gonna tell me if it's too much pressure after working with him in probably a couple hundred sessions. He's never said too much, but I always ask him. And then from here, I kind of walk it out, so I'm flattening his fingers. You could spread your fingers a little bit more as we go along here. Good. Does that feel good?
It feels great.
Yeah. So you can adjust the weight. You know, you adjust the weight. I'm working with like the ball and arch of my foot. So all of my weight is actually in my heels, and my heels do not go on his hands. And my feet are spread out in a V shape. Now from here, there's a couple different stretches you can do. Easiest stretch, his feet are relaxed and together, right? Good job. And then I'm pushing the swing away, which is tractioning the entire front length of the spine. And this is actually really, really good for the belly and all the connective tissue going up into the chest. How does that feel?
I feel it all the way up.
Yeah. So a few pulses here. So I usually come out of it, give them a little break, and come back in. 5 deep breaths for each person. 3 to 5 minutes if you have the time. We're just doing the expedited version because of the video. So I'm going to try to open up his shoulders and help extend his arms, because one of the things, try to straighten your arms as much as possible, is the arms have trouble straightening. This is like, he said 90% better than when he first came in to see me. But I'm going to come with my shoulder underneath his hips. So I'm pushing him back and up in a diagonal. And then I'm coming underneath where the subscap is, and I'm lengthening through the arms. This is great for everyone, but particularly for this condition. And I'm just helping the body open, which feels really good. I try to switch sides and keep the shoulders happy. It's like a football stance. I get right underneath him and start to pull. You doing good?
Great.
Awesome. And then from here, I of course can do a little massaging up into the legs and the glutes. Want to stay here, John, in this position. One more stretch I really like to do. Some people who are tall have trouble getting into that football stance, we'll call it. So you can actually come down, hold on to their arms, and press here. Okay, so I'm using my toes and the ball of the feet to press, and I have a nice grip on his hands. I can even come into a little modified shoulder stand to open up. Similar, but different, okay? Nice, letting him land. From here, we're gonna try some twists. So I like when the sleeves come up, so let your sleeves come up for me. Holding onto the skin, you get a better grip. I'm gonna pull his other arm. I'm pulling on his left, his right arm is just relaxed. And then if he wants to help me, he can hold on. But usually for this, because I'm trying to expand his fingers, I'm gonna let him relax. And I lean back. When I lean back, I'm just getting full extension. This is also a great place to work on the actual fingertips. So I'm just modifying to show you guys that I can pull on each one of the fingers and try to get as much space in each one of those, which has been incredibly helpful. There we go, we got a little adjustment. And then I like to hook to get a bigger stretch. Now that's a really big stretch all through the side body and arm. He's going to tell me if it's ever too much, like I said, but never has been so far. But always check in with your mate here. Okay, so I'm going to stretch the arm. This is going to go into the chest, into the side body, into the underarm. All this connective tissue is what gets really tight. So spend some time just leaning back into it. And then opening up the fingers. Sometimes we get lucky and they all adjust. But you know, we're really just looking for space in the body, however that looks. Awesome. And then a hook will allow us to go even deeper. And this is where he's working a little bit. And then I can pull him all the way back. So you can see he's getting that nice twist and wringing out through the spine. So those are just a couple little things I like to do for this particular practice. It's really infinite, but I just wanted to show you how we're opening up the connective tissue. We're going to be recording some more YOGASSAGE routines, and you'll see how we expand on this particular sequence. So John's going to reach up and grab for the swing in between his legs. His legs come wide and around. He lands back in his chillaxin pose, leg loops supporting the knees, et voila. And then he lets himself have plenty of time to integrate that information because it is a really strong practice. Whew. Any last words? How did that feel?
That was a good stretch from a new person.
Yeah, space in the body. That's the key here. Not only for his particular autoimmune disease, but every single human. If we have too much contraction, too much congestion, that's going to lead to these kind of dis-ease and disorders. Thank you so much for watching our video. We'll send information in the description about the Aerial Yoga Play, the AYRx, and John's nonprofit that he's starting, Maps to Remission. Thank you so much.